Hey everyone, it is Wednesday, May the 4th. Pretty crazy day in the markets, but we're going to talk about business today. We're starting software companies. Yesterday, part one, we walked through how to pick a company name, how to find that name on GoDaddy or wherever you're going to buy your domain, how to check it on Google to see if it's going to be easy to run your SEO on it, and then where to go to be able to get a logo. Okay, so obviously you're going to want to go register your business. You can't start a company unless you go to your corporate site for your state and actually register the business, whether it's an LLC, Inc, and then of course we'll walk through the S corp portion. So go to once you have your name, go to your state registration. It's usually 80 to 125 bucks. Register your company. You can go LLC or Inc. I go Inc. If it's a small company, there's advantages to it being an S corp, and we'll get into that. So once you've registered your company, then you'll actually go get a federal tax ID number with your federal government. Go look up Google federal tax ID. How to get? Don't pay for it. There's a bunch of scammers out there that'll charge you for something for which is absolutely free. Go to the government site, get your federal tax ID, write it down, and register yourself as an S corp if you're a small company, and obviously a C corp if you're much larger, which most people aren't in the software world. So S corp works. It means you can kind of run your personal expenses through pre-tax and then pay yourself out. So S corps make no money. As a company, all the profits get paid out to the owner, and you're taxed on those profits, but you run all your expenses through. So there's some nice advantages to that. Once you're there, you already have your domain, you already have your name, you already have your logo. It's time to build a website. And there's a lot of CMS, there's a lot of places. CMS is content management system. It allows you to manage your backend for your website. A bunch of them out there. You can't go wrong with any of them. If you have a certain resource that specializes in one or the other, doesn't matter. We went with Webflow. I like Webflow. It's very easy to use. There are resources that use it very well, but Jubal, whatever you want to use, doesn't matter. Pick one. If you don't have a web person, go to Fiverr, Fiverr. Find a web developer for which you can pay. Before you actually pay that person, find an example of a website for which you would like to actually emulate. You could even have that person on Fiverr pull that entire website that you like into a non-listed, non-published domain so that you can start swapping in your content. So basically borrow the fundamental design and layout of somebody else's site for which you like, swap your images, and if you need images, go to Shutterstock, get yourself a subscription. You don't want to buy an image one at a time. It's expensive. If you need icons, you can go to Icon 8, spend $5 a month to get a certain amount of icons to fill it in, and start swapping in the icons you want, swapping in the images you want, swapping in the content you want. This is going to take some time. Writing web content is not a slow, easy process. You don't want a little clean one-page website because it won't provide you the SEO benefits. Every time you see a header on there for a certain piece, product that you're putting out, service that you're putting out, that's anchor text. So Google will actually index that and rank it for you. The more of this type of anchor text you have, the more searches you're going to come up in, the less you'll have to pay for marketing. So you want a large, robust, rich website with a lot of content. Content is king, video content or written content. So once you've spent the time, energy, and effort to do that right, and it's not shooting through it, you can hire somebody to do it or do it yourself. I mean, preferably hire somebody unless you're a writer, in which case you could do it yourself. I've written so much web content, but it's different than writing. You have to kind of get in that mind frame, and then you rewrite it. You don't want to copy and paste your content from one page to the next. So, for example, we've got verticals on there. We'll have HapPhi for realtors, HapPhi for mortgage people, HapPhi for advertising agents, HapPhi for marketing companies, HapPhi for software companies. So all of them are going to have the same products. That's just the content underneath and the anchor text all needs to be changed for every single niche. So it's brand new content written in a unique way for all those different pages. I think we have 20 different verticals. So imagine, you do the math. We've got 20 different verticals and we've got about 20 different features and benefits. So that's 400 different pieces of content that need to be uniquely rewritten for each individual vertical niche. And that's what's crucial to being able to get the SEO proper. The actual website we have isn't up yet. Right now it's kind of a placer, just so if somebody Googles HapPhi, they see it, but the real one's being done behind the scenes. So I'm going through all this right now. It's a chore. It's a lot of stuff, writing 400 unique pieces of content, 20 times 20, 20 different unique ways for each vertical, and making it pertinent to the vertical with unique anchor text is a skill. It's hard not to replicate your words. So once you have that all set up, you're definitely going to want a blog. You're definitely going to want, a full, a proper layout so people can find. And then you're going to want to really focus on the sign up process, how people are going to get into the product and what you're going to price it at. Now that is also going to be a challenge. It's how do you price something so that you don't lose money, but you also can entice people to come in. Free trials are huge, but when you set up a free trial, how do you set up a free trial when people don't want to put credit cards in? So our old company, we had credit cards added. Wasn't that popular. We got a lot of signups, but we lost a ton. A lot of people were like, I don't want to put a credit card in. Some did, some didn't. We probably lost 50-60% of our total business from people that didn't want to put a card in. So this time around, we're going to go with a free trial with a very limited amount of storage where people can get in and play with the product, but they can't do too much with it without putting in the card. And maybe even have a team that calls up and says, hey, here, let me walk you through everything. Give them a way to buy for a year and give them a discount if they do, to set them up for, success. But that way they can see the product, play with it, enjoy it, know that they love it before they commit to it. I think that's a good way to go. And that's been successful in a person who I respect tremendously, the way he structured his company. And they did much better than we did in the exact same vertical. He structured it that way. It worked for him. I'm not going to try to reinvent the wheel. I'm just going to pay attention to people that do it better than I do and listen. So once you have your pricing together, and you've got your sign up, you've really got to set up your forms and your flow to be able to put together a funnel. And that's the term. So if you Google it, it'll be in Fiverr as well, but you can put in sales funnel or funnel. There's going to be funnels for social media, funnels for your website, funnels for everything. You're going to want to spend some time, energy, and effort with an expert on funnels, because having people walk through the sign up process and locking them in, it's like fishing. You don't want to, yank and scare the fish and never comes back. You want to catch that fish slowly and have the fish catch itself. So the funnel's key. Get an expert for that. It doesn't cost much. Just make sure you have somebody who knows funnels and set it up for you. At this point, your company's name. You've started working on the web content concurrently at the same time. You're going to want to go out to Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, LinkedIn, and secure the name that you have on all those pages. So at least at a minimum, set up your logo, company description, and a link back to the website that may not even exist yet, but just set it up so that you lock it in, nobody else can get it. And then at that point, you're now working on your content. You can start taking some of the content that you're putting on the website, moving some of the content over to Facebook, LinkedIn, etc., and start building out your content on these other sites concurrently at the same time, so that you can actually build these things out and start the process of getting your name out to the world. You're not advertising yet. We're still building out the actual infrastructure for your organization. So that's about it for today. We're going to get into tomorrow into the actual details, requirements, everything you're going to need on the software side. That's a whole different animal that should probably be done before we get to this point. But we're going to go and start with how we're going to build the product, all the steps that are involved there. And then we're going to get into how we're going to market it and turn this thing into a success for you. Hope you guys are enjoying this. Leave feedback below. I try to keep these at 10 minutes. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day.